Yo, what up guys? iReapism here, and welcome back to another episode of RaZe Dev. This episode is going to focus merely on throwbacks and how much RaZe has changed. Actually, I have quite a bit of progress on the actual RaZe map. I'll spoil next episode a little bit for you. Essentially, next episode you're going to see some of the abilities complete on the Reaper class. Like, I actually built abilities on the Reaper class, like Death Fog is done and all that. And I'm going to show you the cooldown system in RaZe, which is really awesome. I actually bug tested with Citrion and Jasper earlier today. One of the builders for RaZe, Jasper being. And yeah, I want to throw back, I want to dedicate episode 30 because episode 30 is very special in my map making history. Let's throw back a little to 7327. I completed 7327 technically in 30 episodes. I didn't run a single episode after regarding map making, so it was done in 30 episodes, and I felt like I just begun with the 30 episodes of RaZe. So to get it started here, I want to throw back to you guys. So let's join the Reaper. So the Reaper back then only had one ability, and that was Reaper Scythe. And it just did 8 damage from the beginning, so there's no, this is back where no scaling existed in RaZe, so every class just started OP like this, so it's just a death arena, was just the hope for RaZe back then. It works the same way. He'll go invisible and non-invisible in your entities. Here, I'll show you. Summon, villager, it'll work on any entity, just so I can show you. So this is how it worked before, and 6 blocks was the radius before. Super broken stuff we're looking at. 8 damage right in the beginning of the game. That's 2 shotting people every class. So just some throwbacks. It's really fun to look at this stuff, so I hope you guys enjoyed as well. So we're gonna throw back to Cropper. Same abilities here. So we have Cropper, Corrupt, Dark Rain, and target damage. So before, Corrupt dealt damage, 3 pure damage, and stunned for 2 seconds. Let's actually do that, so it's nicer. So damage for 3 hearts of pure damage, and it's stunned for 2 seconds. The range is 6, I believe, on here. So we'll take a look at it. We'll find the villager. So it's stunned them. Let's see if we can get moving. Alright, here he's moving, and he stopped, see? Then he'll continue to move. That's an example. We have Dark Rain over here. Basically, this would rain down 3 right in the beginning, and had a 10-second cooldown. This had a 6-second cooldown, but I made it instant because I was fooling around with it. So 10-second on Dark Rain, half a damage per hit. This is what it looks like back then. Oh yeah, right. I modified it to 5 for testing purposes like a few weeks ago. I still come back to this world, believe it or not, for testing purposes of old abilities and how they scale and stuff. Because I have all the test dummies here, so why not? So I'll always keep this world. This world is amazing. Here's target damage. Damage 2 per hit, which is interesting. It somehow did more damage, even though it didn't, in a way. It slowed slowness 3 for 3 seconds, so this is back before I even have a speed system, or the movement speed system. And radius equals 4. And that's basically how I was going to label things in RaZe before. Like, just like this is how it was going to be labeled. And cooldown 15 seconds, so let's take a look. So he's trying to give a flower. Let's try to stop him. So this will slow. And yeah, that's how that worked. You had armor back then for these classes. Alright, let's take a look at Markra. This is so long ago that Markra actually used to have a bow, guys. Believe it or not. And this is to all the new RaZe fans out there, or people who are interested in watching the RaZe Dev. This is for you guys as well. Like, and also a throwback to those who've watched the early days. This was some awesome stuff back then. You know, Markra had a bow, and it's also a melee weapon. Oh my god, broken. AoE, so throw Morse to blind wither. So it used to blind and wither an enemy within range of Morse. Drag, the Bobber of Death. That you see that in the description of drag. Drop, formerly drag. Summons an explosion in the area. And then 1 arrow, and then the Markra helmet. So again, remember, keep in mind, this stage of RaZe was focused on 5 classes in a death arena. And RaZe was not built at the time to be a death arena. This is how much of RaZe that was done. Actually, it's burned up a lot, but basically, not a lot. So this is how far we got with the castle. We even finished the castle at this point. It just looked like this. And we had the middle lane. We still had the borders. That's how old it was. There's no grass, nothing. And the buff camps look like this. It was weird. And that's how it used to look, guys. So we're going to throw Morse. Let me turn on the clock. That would be good. So we're going to turn on the clock here, and you're going to see Morse. Probably what it'll look like in its own version. So you hover over Morse, and you get these particles, so people know you're morsing, is what I used to call it. And when you throw it, it has the particles, and yeah, this thing withers and blinds enemies. All enemies in a radius, so he really broken stuff. And he used to spawn with 4 when you first joined the game. So when you first joined in, you'd get 4. I'd even develop a cooldown for this ability at the time. So drag has like an 8-second cooldown. And that's what it does. So it blows up like that. Very nice and neat. Let's look at Nizers. So you can see soul counts on the right side. So damage 1, this is soul arm. Now it's soul swipe, it's called, and it slows and stuff when you attack. Before it just did 1 damage. Soul rupture didn't, remember, things didn't scale back then, so heal teammates and damage enemies in the range. This also used to give absorption. So if we go to game mode 0, when I right click, you see I have 4 absorption hearts for like 5 seconds, and I decrease the cooldown on this. Also here's Soul Roar. Back then it was an ability. See how it stuns everybody in the radius initially. So I'm not a movable AoE, so that's why you can see him. And I'm getting soul parts from all these guys. Let's drink that. See, it did pure damage to him. 1 damage. We're going to go ahead and use Soul Rupture. So it's not a movable AoE, so these guys will continue to move. And I'm not actually getting soul parts, it's just the sounds playing. So it works as intended before. So yeah, guys, yeah, and that message would keep spamming you. But basically, heal teammates and damage enemies in a range. Heal 2, damage 2, radius 5. And yeah, Soul Roar, Broken Roar, used to be an ability, not an ultimate. So as long as you have soul parts, I actually remember a time where it worked as, let's say you're in a radius of all these guys, you would actually gain soul parts while using it, so you'd have technically an infinite stun as long as you're alive. Yeah, so it's really disgusting, the old RaZe idea, I guess, compared to a new one. But it's really awesome to look at this stuff. I really enjoy it. So Soul Rupture, he's stun in the radius. And you're able to move around, so you can attack people while you're stunning them for potentially like 6 seconds, I think it is, with this. Hence the modern day 5 seconds of souls, or soul, what is it called? Death Roar. Modern day Death Roar, this used to be called Soul Roar. So we're going to take a look at Aerox here. So Aerox used to have an axe, so 3 classes used to be melee based. In terms of their damage. Here's Mount. So this is still true till today, but it just scales. And here we go, we go around and Mount. He has 8 seconds, I believe. And he's just going to die like that. Roaring Skies got removed from the game. This was old Aerox, guys. And I'm going to explain. This is really cool ability. It's still cool to me today. It's actually a lot of skill based ability. So let's take a look at it. There's actually a lot to throw back on. I'm not even done yet, guys. So let's go to some times a day. So let's take a look at Roaring Skies. So control Roaring Skies by looking in the 4 directions. Customize its landing position. So this is Roaring Skies. So it just summons where I'm looking, and that's the range. That's the max range if you stare in a direction. Now I want to half the distance. What would you do? Just like that. And I'm going to explain, this is really cool ability. It's still cool to me today. It's actually a lot of skill based ability. So I'm going to explain, this is really cool ability. It's still cool to me today. It's actually a lot of skill based ability. So let's take a look at it. There's actually a lot to throw back on. I'm not even done yet, guys. So let's go to some times a day. So this is Roaring Skies. So just summons where I'm looking, and that's the range if you stare in a direction. Now I want to half the distance. What would you do? that's how you half it. You have to be quick about it. That's like a quartering it. It's really hard to do. It really depends how you're aiming on the ticks of the clocks. And this was it. Every redstone tick, this is how it was built before. It would update and send it in a different direction. So if you did something like this, where you look like this, it would be an easy way to summon it on yourself. So really good when you're running away, you'd go like this. And that should theoretically summon on yourself if I'm skilled enough. Now let's take a deeper look into mount. A lot of people at the time were saying, why don't you have it instead of dying like this, which you'll see in a second. Like this, because they don't want to see the particles of the death and they don't want to hear the sound. And instead to have it auto dismount and then send it to the void. You could do it, but I would need a lot more command blocks. So I just built this before recording just to show you guys. As you take a look at him die, unfortunately. Let's take a look at some of this stuff. Alright, so yeah guys, that is old stuff. Roaring Skies, you know, it used different right click mechanics, so right clicking with a carrot on a stick would work the same way as right clicking on an armor piece, but armor piece is better because if I used carrots on the stick for all, it's controlled by one objective. There's a huge problem with doing this because the way I'm doing RaZe is all custom different. So with my new system, there's leather chest plates and different colors of the chest plates to determine what it is. So yeah, that worked really well for me. One moment guys. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. So basically, that was old RaZe. Now, I had an old idea for the marker class. This was so long ago, but I thought it was so cool to... I can't skip by it, man. It was so cool. I just added its functionality right now, like in terms of what it would do. Before, it just played sounds and put you in the dormant state. So I want to show you what it looks like now. So first we're gonna scoreboard teams join marker, and we're gonna break that block. And basically, let me explain before it happens. I'm gonna fly up, and particles are gonna shoot up. It's gonna be an instantaneous event, but particles will shoot up, implying that I was flying up into the dormant state. I'm gonna be in spectator mode. I'm gonna hover over people, and everywhere in the world, every entity except players would burn. So the burning idea I just made before I started recording, but the sounds and everything else that you see before the burning of entities was done months ago. Like, I would say about 5 to 6 months ago. It's insane. Almost half a year ago, guys, to put that in perspective. So I summoned a bunch of entities all over the world, so we can see burn in the state. So let's just take a look. So you saw the particles shoot up, and I have the volume turned really low because it does make a lot of sound, ruckus. So you can see every entity in the world's burning. It makes you feel really powerful, really OP as well. Every entity in the world burns when you're in the dormant state. Here's the particles for being in the dormant state, and yeah. Well, not dormant state. Why am I saying dormant state? Just state. You're in the state right now. The dormant state is in between the fire text. Like that particle right there. That's the dormant state. That means you're like it does nothing during that time. So let's destroy this game mode 1. Let's stop it. So yeah, as you can see, I used a lot of repeaters and stuff. That's how I used to do things back then. Basically the original idea without the burning. So the burning I just did so I can show you guys and demonstrate something of coolness, I guess. Iron golems are still burning. Basically the intended idea is to have this skull everywhere you move. So you're in spectator mode and you're moving around like this, and that skull will instantaneously be put underneath you. So you'd be on the same Y level during this, so it'd keep teleporting you to the same Y level, so you couldn't change. Basically, anyone on top of or under that skull would be instantly killed, like the RaZe ability would, but instant. Like, there's no wait time on the RaZe ability. Like, the RaZe ability, you were instantly killed, but there, took some time, depending on how hefty you were in terms of armor. But no, and definitely it was a lot different back then. My thought process on kill streaks. Apparently Marco would get a 3 kill streak, and this would happen. I don't know how long you're in the state for, maybe 15 seconds. I think it was intended. And you would instantly kill everything underneath you. You can adjust your speed to go like this and rain hovering death over people, literally. And this was actually inspired by hovering death from Smite, Thanatos' ability. So at the time I started playing Smite a lot, and I really took a lot of inspiration from Smite, so much to actually add into RaZe. But again, I told you it got removed. This idea was insane, so it was obviously removed when the sane part of RaZe Dev began, which was 3-4 months ago. So yeah, just a month after I built this, the sane development began, and here we are. So I hope you enjoyed the throwback, guys. I didn't really get into the skill based in Aerox. So basically, as you can see, it's a charged creeper, so that would imply like a explosive damage of 5. And remember, this is before scaling, so fresh out of the start of the game, you're already instant killing people. But how you do it is completely up to you on how you position your aiming. So as you can see, if I want to hit that window, I would do that, maybe. I used to be really good at it. Yeah, I used to be really good at it. Now I'm just trash. There you go. So you have to be really quick. It's very difficult stuff, and it only worked in the 4 directions. Now I can make it look exactly where you're looking, but in a practical sense it would take a lot of command blocks. But in a more realistic sense, in terms of gameplay, if you wanted to instantly kill someone, it had to be really skill based. Like, you couldn't just do it because you know how to stick your cursor on someone. No, so I made it work in the 4 directions, and every redstone tick, it would update and teleport the creeper that direction you're looking at. So that's how it works. And it's a really short time, so you have to really be moving your mouse a lot if you wanted to aim correctly. So if you do this, I remember the shaking back and forth. This would make it, yeah, there you go, summon on top of you. I knew I remembered that part. I mean, it only works sometimes. It really depends where you're looking at and how long you're looking at for those time. Or it will teleport off slightly. And it teleports, I think, every 2 or 3 blocks, 2.5 blocks. So just one redstone tick off and you can hit yourself or an enemy and instantly kill them. So again, it did a lot of damage because its explosive range was huge, so it had a huge AoE potential, this ability. And the reason it got removed, this skill-based ability, is because it was way too skill-based. I think it was really difficult to aim. And for the class Aerox to be able to move at 350% movement speed, and to instantly kill people from range and be safe about it, I thought that was ridiculous. So this got removed. Roaring Skies was going to be a cool ability, but it got replaced with, what's the name of that ability? Stampede. It got replaced with Stampede, so the moving AoE ability, which is really unique to MOBAs these days. I have a lot of unique stuff nowadays. So at the time it was really based on very specific things like AoE right clicks, but now it's AoE right clicks with moving spread AoE, single target AoE. Then there was this multi-target 3D thrown vertical. Like, this was completely new. This is a new concept to MOBAs, like to have 3D space to throw a movable AoE. So it's really cool stuff. I think RaZe is going to be a lot of fun and unique this way. So I hope you guys enjoyed the nostalgia train with me. I sure as hell did. This was a lot of fun to look at. I also repainted the village, which is really cool. I enjoyed that as well. I did a lot of stuff in this world, and don't you fear, I will continue to come back on here sometimes. I always do, to test things and look at old stuff. Like exposed structures was an old passive. You guys probably remember that. Some of you won't. Fear sensor, probably some of you won't remember. Like Reaper would be heard within 16 blocks of the Cropper, so Cropper was a direct counter to the Reaper at the time. And you can see exactly how this was made. So remember I told you when I first started RaZe, I wanted to focus on specialization and classes that counter each other. And there's a good example. The Reaper was made as the first class, and the second class followed was Cropper. And you can see where I went with it, as detects the hesitance of each class. Fear sensor passive. Reaper is heard within 16 blocks of Cropper. You can see the correlation, and Markra can fight anyone from range. So Cropper has to be in your face to do all this damage, and Markra can stand away and deal damage. You can see all the specialization come into play. It was there back then too, and it's here to stay, the specialization, because that was a huge factor of this MOBA game. And then Nizerth, he kind of had to come to stop all the damage, because everyone was doing a lot of damage. There was a lot of AoE control damage. There was just a lot of single target damage, Reaper. AoE control damage was Cropper, and high range damage was Markra. So I needed to make a tank in between. There was no way to counter Markra, because how do you counter a ranged person? You don't give them escapes, and you get in their face, basically. So there was already a counter, technically, but a really hard way to counter. So tanky people that can go in your face. Ooh, sorry about that. So yeah, tanky people to control you. So Nizers came in, and then someone that could run in and out of a situation. So at the time, Aerox was a movement speed class, and also a ranged class, and a melee class. So absolutely broken. He had everything in his kit. Literally everything in his kit. Look, he did 5 damage in the beginning, guys. It's insane how much damage Axit did. But yeah, I removed his melee privileges, and he's all a close single target damage, or not spread AoE, well, chained damage. It's different. It's another genre I don't want to get into right now, but I hope you guys enjoyed, guys. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you another time. Peace out now. Thanks so much for watching. I think that's it, right? Wait, let's just check really quick. I don't know if you guys remember, but the RaZe class, or not the RaZe class. Let's go in the Cropper. Throw back to the RaZe ability. Summon villager. Place instantly exploded. Villager golem. Here we go. So wherever I used it, that's where I would spawn. There we go. It worked. And that's what would happen to everyone. Instantly kills people. Really fun thing. This is probably one of the most complicated things I ever did in Minecraft. Was build this ability to work. It was a sequence scripted event. Really cool stuff. There's summon a golem, and it would teleport me back. And you can see how cool that stuff is. Oh man, that was a lot of fun. Yeah guys, thanks for watching though. Oh yeah, I nerfed the cooldowns on these for demonstrational purposes, especially on corrupt. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you next episode with real-time RaZe Dev updates. Expect some more. One more thing, guys. Oh man, I keep forgetting. Before we go, guys, please check the description for my Tumblr page. There is a second blog dev post where I post progress about RaZe. I made it very recently, so definitely check that out if you haven't been watching the videos recently. It will update you on most things, and as pictures and stuff, it's really interesting and very short to read. Please take a look at it, and please leave your feedback on that. If you watched up until this point, please write in the comments letting me know, like hashtag nostalgia train or something. That would be cool. So I know that you guys watched to this point, and I'll be happy enough to make more videos in the future because of it. Not that I wouldn't, but it helps a lot, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out now.